What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches back with another video. You look, long time no see. All right, you guys, I had to take off some time for the holidays. I visited my best friend for her birthday, came back Christmas Eve, then of course Christmas, and I just needed a couple of days to mentally prepare back to being at work. All right, so first things first, y'all, do y'all see this set? We got not only a 90s set but an OG 90s set, which I freestyled. Yeah, you're gonna want to stick around for this entire video. Okay, before we get into it, you guys know I have coupon codes in my Amazon storefront linked in the description bar as well as in the comment section. Don't forget to follow me on all social media, click that subscribe button, and turn notifications on so you don't miss out on anything. Okay, so the colors that we're using, this is a custom made pink. Normally I would have used Princess Slippers or Candy Yum Yum, but this is kind of like a hybrid. I was out of damn near I think both, and I kind of just needed some type of pink for those who are wanting like a baby pink. So typically I'll do this, I'll just like make a color to tide me over until I can go get what I need. I have not been to the nail store in quite some time, so I did not even realize that I was lacking in colors. All right, so that's this color I'm using. The other glittery pink is called Role Play. Y'all already know it's not polished. If it's not polished, it's not nothing, point blank, period. All right, so this set right here, most of this video is going to go by very quickly. We are going to focus on the design later in the video, and that is because I do have in-depth ducky videos. So if you need help with your application or your shaping specifically, I have videos for that. These tips are in my Amazon storefront. I don't know if they're gonna have clear or natural color in stock. This is natural, so sometimes Amazon has one color, sometimes both. It just kind of depends. It literally doesn't quite matter. Just know that the naturalness of this tip does kind of cloud the background color. So like if I were to use these colors on clear, it would they would look more see-through, more clear in a way. You see what I'm saying? So of course we're gonna go ahead and do our application. I'm not gonna lie, my application was not the best for this particular set. I was just happy to go ahead and be doing a freestyle. All right, because yeah, I enjoy doing freestyles. You guys really like watching me do ducky sets. You guys really like watching me do like OG nail designs. I don't really like calling them like 90s nail designs for real, because they do extend beyond just that one time period. So I like to just call them OG designs, throwback, whatever. I like that people are more open to trying them. I like how people come to me and request the way I do mines instead of trying to show me pictures of what's trendy. I do enjoy that people really enjoy the vibe that I give in my nails. Good old ghetto nail never hurt nobody. All right, so after that, of course, I went ahead and did my cuticle filing, and I went underneath in the C curve area, which these don't really have a C curve on the tip, but keep in mind, duck nails, these are curved tips. So if you decide to go ahead and get the tips that I use, they are a curved tip. I noticed a lot of people kind of just I don't know, they just use a straight tip and attach something to the tip, and so it doesn't really look like a duck shape. I've noticed that a lot. I would say the less filing the better, especially if you're going to use these tips. As you can see, I'm not filing too much. What I'm really doing is just making sure that all the sidewalls match up, making sure that the tip is crisp, and that's about all. If your application is pretty good, you're not going to have to do a lot of finish filing and shaping at all. Okay, so if you're gonna go ahead and do it the other way with like the straight tip and all that, I can't really give you advice to that, because me personally, I don't feel like that's a duck shape. I feel like it just looks like a flared square and not really a real duck, and barely flared at that. But that's just my personal opinion. So if that's the way you're kind of more interested in, I would suggest, honestly, as far as like the basis and shaping and stuff like that, you're probably gonna have to find a different video. But the design itself, the design is going to be for whoever. I'm sorry, my phone went off. So getting into this design, right, I already knew this is a regular vine. As soon as she was like, oh, I want the duck shape, I was like, bam, I know exactly what type of design I want to do. This is a freestyle. Everything is off the dome. It's going to look smooth and effortless how I do it. Okay. Also, here's the polishes that I'm using. I do have a coupon code for Nail Reserve. Gelixir White is my favorite white ever, and they do cure for 2 minutes. So technically all of these, and Gelixir Black. Okay, so realistically, this is gonna look very smooth, and the reason that is because I already did the first hand. You see what I'm saying? Now typically when I do the first hand, it takes a little longer because I'm trying to figure out where do I want my placement, where do I want my lines, and then on the second hand I can do way more lines at once instead of trying to like, okay, let me do 1 or 2 here and then I'll cure. So what I'll go ahead and do is like, okay, I'll do all my white lines first, and then let me do my black lines, and then I'll cure in between. But on the second hand, once I see, I already know what I want, I'm just gonna go ahead and see how many lines can I get away with without them smearing into each other, So here I'm just going ahead and making this baby pink color and laying out my other colors. I have this little mixing brush. This is a gel brush. I just use it to mix. So you're gonna need a flat brush as well for this design to do the flowers. These flowers are the flowers a lot of you guys asked. I had them on my nails one time in a video. So many people asked me when they saw my set, so many people asked, how do you do those flowers? How do you do those flowers? They look like kind of, I guess, like hibiscus or like Hawaiian type flowers. I'm about to show y'all, okay? This is the first time I'm actually doing them on a client, I believe, because prior to this, I only did them on myself that once, and yeah, people had asked me to do them, but they kind of backed out of it or whatever. So this is the tone of pink that I want. I want a pink that's light, but also bright and pigmented. So, yeah. So here we go. I'm starting with a French tip. Now, when you do French on Ducky, you're going to have to just eyeball it. The most important part is the smile line. You just want to make sure it's straight. You don't want to come down too far. You just want to find not only your center, but like what seems like an appropriate length. And I like to take mine all the way up to the corners. I feel like when you don't, it just looks unfinished. I feel like it looks cut off when it's just the tip, and I feel like it takes away from the shape. So if you do not drag your sides all the way up and you kind of just stay on the bottom portion, try just dragging it all the way up a little bit. It does make a difference. And okay, now this part, there's something there. I think it was a glitter. I do not cap my glitters like when they're fine glitters or like if they're not super duper chunky. And unfortunately, sometimes you get stray glitters. I wouldn't necessarily suggest, doing what I just did, but I did it. And I'm about to do something again I don't necessarily suggest you should do. There's more there. I'm not even gonna lie. There's like a lot of lumps and bumps when I lay down all these French tips, but it's gonna get covered up. Oh, I don't want to say lumps and bumps, but it's just like where the glitter is not the flattest. But when you put all these layers of polish and stuff, you're not even gonna be able to notice that. So it drives me crazy, but I was like, you know what? You're not gonna see it in the end result. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. We're painting it, and yeah, you see, I don't recommend doing that. You're just gonna make a mess everywhere, and it's not really good for your skin as well. So don't do that. Okay, don't do that. But you want to make sure your French tip is very nice. I do have an in-depth video on doing French on a ducky with zebra stripes, basically. And I want to say that one probably does go a little bit more in depth, because I'm just showing this one, but just so that you guys can get the gist of like what's the background. So obviously I did this on all 4 sparkly nails because I wanted that background to be real cute, I feel like this is just real ghetto like. I feel like, let me see. No, I did two coats as well, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, because I needed it to be like, I was like, I don't want no splotchiness, no patchiness, whatever. And after you check it, you go ahead and fix it however you need to. Funny thing is, I really like these little ghetto sets. Some people don't realize that ghetto has a dual meaning, and honestly, I'm just gonna say non-black because I feel like that's what it is. And so sometimes they see me post like, oh, my nails are so ghetto. Oh, this is so ghetto. I've gotten comments like, girl, don't say that. Your nails are so classy and beautiful. And I'm like, girl, it's not bad. Like, it's good. Like, that's my style. It's good. Like, it's okay. So for those of you who do not know, that there's multiple meanings and connotations to the word ghetto, especially when black folks use it, just know, baby, I'm not talking down on my work. I'm hyping it up. Okay. So with the white lines, typically I decide how many do I want. So I knew I wanted, okay, let me do 4, right? And I knew I wanted to add some pink lines in there, of course, black. And I will basically what I do is I start with white as the base because I feel like that's what makes everything pop. I'll typically do a couple of areas where there's like double lined and then the other one single. Placement is everything. So So this is why I say you can tell this is the second hand, because look how I'm going straight in with the black lines, which I don't even think black should be next. I really think I did pink next, and I think that's when I realized like I'm doing something out of order. Placement and everything does make a difference. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is the make or break between does this set look like it goes or not. All right, now with these type of lines, I use this Beatles brush, is also linked below in my Amazon storefront. This is a Madam Glam brush, which I no longer use. The bristles are way too frayed. I just use some random gel brush that's flat as a cleanup brush. But the thing about it is, first of all, this Beatles brush, it only comes in a pack. I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not use any of the other brushes, so every time I need a new one, I have to buy another pack. Okay, but placement is everything. I knew I wanted a little bit of squiggle in there, not just the classic flicks. The way you do these little flicks and these white and black lines, everyone is different, but for me, it's the way I load the polish onto the brush and how I flick the tip of the brush. Okay, that's what it really is for me. Maybe I should do a video solely on how to flick your brush, because I'm gonna be honest, doing line work and my first look, I didn't even get good at doing this until last year. Especially like with line work and nail art, I realized it's really the brush that you use, just the same way as your acrylic brush is your down bitch, that's your home girl. She the one that you need in order to make things right. Same goes with your liner brushes, okay? So it really depends on how are you loading the polish on your brush. That makes a big difference. I'll be honest with you, that's something that I have learned over time. Okay, so I decided I want to add these little pink squiggly lines just because I wanted something different. So you can see I am going back and forth with stuff now, and that is because the black lines possibly may intersect a little bit with the pink. I just wanted to keep this as clean as possible. So you see I load the brush, I press, and then flick. You see? So if I feel like it's not thick enough, I will go back and do that again. But placement is everything, like I said. So you might see me erase some, you might see me redo, and typically however many white lines I do, I will either do the same amount or less black lines, because I feel like you need to have balance between the white and the black. Like I said, this is a freestyle, so you know, if you want to draw some inspo or something, you know, tag me so I can see. I don't get tagged like often of like, hey, I tried X, Y, and Z. There are a lot of people that save my work, so I know people are out there doing something with it or showing their nail techs or what, but I don't ever get to see it. So you know, I think I'm just removing a lint. That was getting on my damn nerves. But so, and then it was making a mess. It was really pissing me off. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But so you can really see how it's a process. Okay, so sets like these, people trust my process, but do not be upset if people don't trust yours yet. Like if you're just getting into these type of sets, I'll be honest, especially, okay, we're gonna get not like deep, but we're gonna get a little deep. I am a person who understands why these types of sets are not like, yes, it's trendy, but I understand why. Partly it's trendy because there are a lot of black girls out there who this is nostalgia for them. They aunties, they granny, they mom, they whoever had sets like this. They did not try, or maybe, you know, they had sets like this when they were younger, but over time, as they realized there wasn't as many good nail artists for them to choose from, you know, some of us just stop even trying to strive for sets like this, period, especially going to the shops, right? So it's picked up some velocity because there's a lot of black girls out there, especially, and I'm saying that because my clientele is largely black, okay? So I'm really speaking from what I'm seeing and like literally talking to people. But there's a lot of black girls out there who they finally are finding someone that not only understands how to do the set and the placement, but there's the shaping behind it, you know, everything that they were looking for and asking for, they found. The other reason why this is trending is because a lot of people online seen someone do it on a straight tip somewhere, right? Because originally these type of designs, it's on curved designs. If you say you never had curved nails, yes you did. Before COVID, you've had them. Like that's just what the tips were, okay? It was not all the straight tips. someone's seen it somewhere and then they recreated it on the more trendier type of tips or look and made it into like an Instagram look, and made it, instead of being like a more, I don't want to say cultural thing, we'll say cultural as in like the time, not necessarily solely as in just being black. Okay, we're gonna do it like that, but like it went from like a cultural type thing in that sense to being like, oh, this is just trendy and this is like spunky, you know? Yeah. Well, really, it's ghetto, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there's a little something for you. This is why I think it's trending and why so many people like it nowadays that before probably wouldn't like it. All right. So with the little dots, I take my dotting tool and I always do the white ones first, and I'll go ahead and do the black ones. This is purely placement, people. You do it as your heart sees fit. When I tell you, I had a smile on my face this entire set. This set made me so doggone happy. Y'all already know I love doing freestyles, and I used to do freestyles that would show like, wow, look what I can do. And I feel like the older I get, the longer I've been in this industry, my freestyles reflect more of like solely just my style. Like I used to do it on like, oh, this client likes da da da. No, that ain't why they come to get freestyles. They come to get freestyles because they really, the indecisiveness, that's really what it is. If they like everything on your page, don't be scared. So we're gonna continue with these dots until we are content. There's a million ways you can do this type of design. I like busyness. I like patterns that just look really out there. I like stuff that's a little bit gaudy and junky when it comes to nails. I like line work, which I never thought I would. I really like line art. Oh hell, you can see on my own nails clearly. But yeah, she was really excited about the set. Like each step of the way we was like, ooh girl, like she was like clacking. I was like, yeah, duck may seem short, but honestly it's what I would go on my page and see what I consider medium long. It's not too far off. Okay, not too far off from a longer length. It's just spread out instead of vertical. Now for these, like, I don't necessarily just want to call them Hawaiian flowers because like that's not really the correct term. But these particular flower petals, right? You need a flat brush like this. Dip it in whatever color you want. I like 4 petals, so I just do 1, 2, 3, and 4. You want them to be close enough that they almost touch, but you want to leave the middle open, okay? The middle should be open. Now, some you can do 4 petals, some you can do 3. I'm sure you can even do 2. This is how I do it. This isn't something that I watched a tutorial. No, this is something I tried on myself, and then a lot of people liked it. I feel like people kind of forgot about it, and then every so often I get asked about it. Y'all here on YouTube definitely be asking about it. So the second layer I do white. Boom. Like I said, it don't have to be perfect. It could be a little messy. You do want like the tips to still look pink, but this is, we're detailing it to look layered like a flower. Okay, super easy. I'm gonna tell y'all, super duper easy. Even with these line work designs, anything y'all see me do, I don't necessarily like, hey, let me go watch a tutorial and figure it out. I kind of in the moment am like, what is the best way? Like, I know how to use all my tools. What is the best way for me to achieve something? That's what you guys should kind of focus a little more on, because I notice a lot of people that kind of just want to watch a video and just, hey, this is so-and-so's technique. But like, imagine if so-and-so's channel didn't exist anymore. How would you try new things? You would just try, you see? So it's good to watch videos to see like, oh wow, that's how they did it. But you know, use it, compare it your own way, and you know, do other things like that. Don't be solely not based, what is that called, dependent on other people's videos for your whole entire like for how you do every single thing. So I'm just making this bigger because that flower was like really small. But yeah, sometimes just don't be scared to try stuff. I try stuff on clients all the time. You know what I tell them? I said, baby girl, if you look at me like this and I look at you like that, and we look down at the nails like this, and we know it's not working, and we can get rid of it, especially nail art. So I do another layer of pink because this creates like a, I don't know, a softness. I don't know. I feel like it just looks good. It tones down the white, brings another layer of depth in there. And then after each of these layers, I will cure it for a couple of seconds, like 10 seconds. Keep in mind, the white and the black has to cure for 2 minutes. So at the end of it, you're gonna have to do a full 2-minute cure because of whatever is the last thing that you do. Everything else will already be cured, but you know. So then I take my like painting brush and I do little white stripes in the middle, just more detail, and then I go around each petal and kind of like how I do the 90s lines, you know, whatever, the OG lines, however you want to call them, the line art I just did. I push down and I kind of, I don't want to say necessarily like flick, but a little bit. This is what's going to give us that petal look. Now, when I did this the first time, I was wondering, I'm like, why the hell? I haven't done it so long, like literally since last year. I'm like, why don't these look like flowers? Because I forgot to outline them in white and give them the highlight so they do look like flowers, you know? And I'm not saying these are probably like the best flowers out there or nothing, but I feel like they're very pretty. I feel like it's quick, it's pretty. I'm sure that, you know, they could use some work, but that's okay because I do plan on improving. I plan on experimenting more with flowers, especially, I don't want to say spring is really coming up because it's like literally not. We got 2.5 months left, but yeah, I was really happy and excited to do these. Like, y'all don't even know, my heart was singing this whole entire appointment. And I thought like, do I want to add bling because for those of you who hasn't looked at my prices, my freestyles are 120. That's 120 and up. That's what it starts at. So her budget was 120. And then I kind of felt like, I'm like, you know what? I feel like there's so much hand painted art on here and it took quite some time to do this that I was like, you know what? I almost don't want to take away from that. Like, I really want the art to be the star of the show. And I literally did hand painted art on all 10 nails. So I was like, you know what? Nah, we're not gonna do any bling. Normally I would, but this time I really wanted to showcase the art. So I am very, very, I don't know, I'm very proud of this set. I feel like this set really screams me. I feel like it really shows what type of clientele I have. And it just makes me feel really good about the fact that like my clients like coming to me. Like, it's a joy. It really is. So you can see this is why we leave the middle open, because if we didn't, you would not be able to distinguish any of the petals from each other. But I'm trying to tell you, this white highlight, this, I mean, it just brings it together that it looks like a flower, you see? So that whole hand now, like if this was the other hand, I would have did one finger at a time because I was first deciding placement and what do I want to do. But because I already know exactly how it is, I'm just doing all these at once. So I would not suggest doing this much like wet art at one time, because if something smears, you're gonna be pissed. But so I decided to basically do, I think I did 4 white lines and like 2 black lines or whatever. And once again, this is all placement based, okay? It's okay if some lines are thicker, some are skinnier. It's all right. I typically like a thicker look, but if some lines are a little bit, you know, maybe not as thick, it's fine. Some are going to be a little more short and stout. Some might be a little elongated. It's fine. It's hand painted. You know, a lot of people ask, do I do airbrushing? I do not. All of my stuff, I just paint it. That's it. But I'm flattered that people feel like it looks airbrushed. Like, that's really dope. So yeah, I just did the 2 black lines to contrast because I like a cluttered nail. I like a busy looking nail. So placement is key. And I'm really hoping that this is, if at least not giving you guys some tips, like even if this isn't your style, I'm hoping that this is like visually something nice to look at or to listen to. I don't freaking know, but I do appreciate whoever for listening and watching. And this is perfect timing because in a couple minutes I gotta get up to go to work. So I'm going in with the dotting tool. You guys already know, same type of concept. Oh, I guess I'm fixing something. Yeah, same type of concept. And at the end, you're going to cure for 2 minutes if you are using these gels. I'm realizing how many gels actually cure for 2 minutes, because even these nail reserves, I've been doing 1 minute, and honestly, they're probably curing for more than 1 minute, obviously, because I use other colors with them. But, child, they definitely cure for 2 minutes. I'll be honest with you. I recently checked. I'm like, whoops. I mean, nothing bad happened, but just so y'all know. So we're gonna finish off these dots, and y'all, that is the end of it. I appreciate y'all waiting for me to come back. Hopefully this is a video that you guys will like. Hopefully you enjoy the duckies. Here's the final result one more time. I appreciate y'all, and y'all already know I will see you in the next one.